Right. For the purpose of anyone watching this recording, good evening, hope you're well. Any questions whilst you are watching this or listening to this, then please just let me know. We've had a little bit of a request for back specifics, so hopefully that will help you as well. And everyone's having loads and loads of neck and back problems. In fact, I've just trained someone who had exactly the same thing. She was like, "Oh, so we'll do some stuff specifically on that as well. But if you can just find a space and make yourself comfortable. Apologies in advance because I've got a small child and dog and all the rest of it in the background, so hopefully they won't disturb too much. Right, so let's make a start, and we're going to come right down to the floor and try and rest and relax your back out, okay? So if you have got your hair tied up, may I suggest that you just pull your hair bobble out, because I need your head very, very flat on the floor. Could you just give me 1 second? Harry, sweetheart, can you turn that down? You don't have to turn it off, just turn it right down, please. Right down. Thank you. Right. Okay, so first things first, I want you to bring your hands up and lattice them together. And then I just want you to pull your shoulders away and then try and sink them down, so away from your ears and up. So they're very much off the floor. And you should be able to feel your spine really clearly on the floor. And then we're going to slowly just release your arms, and then your shoulder blades should feel much flatter. And just bring your hands down to, well, wherever's more comfortable. Actually, for me, it's down by my hip bones, but it could be higher or lower. That's absolutely fine. So just make sure, have a tiny wriggle around and just make sure that your shoulder blades are nice and flat on the floor. Tilt your pelvis very slightly so your lower back is a little bit more onto the floor. And we're just going to take 3 really nice deep breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. So what I want you to think about is 3. So a count of 3 and a count of 3. Okay, so in, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, out, 2, 3. So let's do that again. In, hold, and out. One more time. In, hold, and out. Good. Okay. Right. Thinking about your toes. So we'll bring attention to your toes. I just want you to give them a little wriggle. And I am definitely going to do the imagination. So I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think, okay, hopefully, Liz, if you're warm enough, because we need to be thinking on a nice, warm, sandy beach. And you're not on a towel, so the imprint is going to be made on the sand. So thinking about your feet, just crunch those bits of sand in between your toes. That's it. And then just think, right, okay, I'm going to sink my feet into the sand and make that really lovely little foot impression in the sand. Take a deep breath in. Feel the weight of your legs and push down. And again, breathe in and push down. Okay, your legs should feel a tad heavier now. Just make sure they're engaged enough to actually keep your feet on the floor. Now travel your thoughts all the way up to your knees and all the way back down to your pelvic area. Now little tiny, tiny rocks. So if you again were thinking about the sand, your pelvis would be making quite a dent in the sand. That's it, just rock really gently from side to side. Okay, come back to center, take a deep breath in. And then you're going to push that pelvic area really heavy. And what that should have done is just sunk it down slightly more and just feel heavy. Deep breath in and relax. Sink, 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 sink. Okay. Bringing your attention to your lower back. If you bring your hands underneath your lower back, there should be enough of a gap to actually get your hands pretty much underneath. Your pelvis should be tilted, so your actual spine, there's probably a bit of a gap there, so you can actually get your hands under. That's absolutely fine, because where it should meet the sand is the middle of your back. So just underneath your shoulder blades, you should feel just across there, and that's where the next place that hits. So deep breath in. I want you to push that space, the middle of your back, down into the sand. Deep breath in and push. Sink it down and deep breath in. Push, sink it down. Good. Okay. Now the next place is your shoulder blades. So shoulder blades should be fairly flat onto the floor. And what I want you to think about is when you're breathing out, that I'm putting a tiny bit of pressure on from the top of your shoulders down, just to push you very slightly down into the ground. So deep breath in and sink backwards. That's it. Sink those shoulders to the ground. Deep breath in and sink. One more time. And sink. Excellent. Right, last one, your head. So just give it a rock from side to side. And again, if it was in the sand, it would be making quite an imprint. Rocking it across. Nice and gently. Okay, now rock it all the way to one side so your ear is touching the sand. Just hold it to one side and just relax your shoulders down and try and get a really nice stretch there. Bring it up and over. Okay, and bring it up to center again. Take a deep breath in, and then I want you to feel like your head's being pushed backwards into the sand. Deep breath in and relax. Head's nice and heavy. Right, think about all those points: feet, pelvis, back, shoulders, head. Deep breath in and everything into the sand. Push down. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Lovely. Right, if you're not more relaxed now, I don't know what's going to work. So just scrunch your hands and wriggle your feet. So just wake limbs up a little bit. All right. Hands back onto your hip bones, and I want you to feel your lower set of abs, so right down the bottom. Okay, we're going to take a deep breath in and then just squeeze and engage them very slightly. So deep breath in and engage. Right, so just engage. Then you're going to take another deep breath in and lift your knees towards you. Deep breath in and engage and lift. There we go. All right. So knees should be nice and close to you, feet off the floor, and then we're going to do little tiny, tiny circles. Now with these circles, I want you to think like little circle and a wider circle. A little circle, going the same way, wider circle. Let's do one more, little tiny circle and wider. That's it. Bring it back to center. Let's go the other way. So little circle. Keep your knees, feet together, wider circle. Now with the wider circle, your core should just engage very slightly. Little circle, wide. That's it. Okay, one more. Little and wide. Good. Okay, bringing it back to center. Holding onto your knees and just bring your knees nice and close to your chest. So pretty much you're using your hands as a weight and just sort of bring them in nice and close. Try really hard to drop your shoulders. Right, that's it. Now we're going to release your hands, and then I want you to put your hands onto the front of your knees. Hopefully you can see that. And we're going to do little tiny rocks this way now. So what that should feel, so bring them away from you, not very far, because I don't want your core to engage too much. Although it will slightly, that's fine. And then bring them back towards you again. Now what you should feel, particularly Liz, if your back is really sore, is just a really nice massage right at the bottom, the coccyx areas. Just pull them in, release them away. It does feel a little bit different side to side, and then again pull them in. Try and stretch that out a bit. So each time you're pulling them in and moving them away, try and go a little bit stronger. So push it away, bring it in, nice and close. That's it. Push it away and nice and close. Good. Okay. Hold on to your knees again, and then when you bring them in, I want you to lift your head this time. So lift your head up. So you're going into a tiny ball, and then we're going to just rock from side to side. Now this should be mid-back. So this is mid-back massage now. That's it. Just watch your neck. If your neck's beginning to take the strain, just hold your hand behind your head. Keep your chin right in. That should feel really nice right in the middle of your lumbar. Okay, come back to center, drop your head down and release your knees slightly. Right. Okay, twisting. So we're going to bring one foot down to the floor and then one foot onto your knee. Hands out to the side. The first way I want you to go is not across your body. We're coming away from your body. So you bring it one way. So for example, you've got your right foot on top, you're going the right, okay, towards your right. Also keep your shoulders on the floor and just try and relax everything down to the side. If it doesn't go to the floor, that's absolutely fine, just as long as you're feeling a bit of a stretch. Okay, use your oblique muscles and lift up. And then you're swinging it across. So this time you're coming across your body. Shoulders pinned to the floor. More importantly, your shoulders stay on the floor than your legs come on the floor. Just relax. And if you can, taking hold of your knee and just encouraging it down very slightly. Just hold on to it. If you want to go further, you're looking away from your knees. Turn your head away. That's it, and try and relax. Okay, remove your hand from your knee and assist that back up. Use your muscles. Oh. Okay, swapping legs. So foot down, the other foot onto your knee. So you're creating little triangles. And then you're coming to, if you've got on the left, you're coming down to the left first. That's it. Try really hard to relax everything onto the floor. Just a couple of breaths. Deep breath in, lift up. Shouldn't be quite so hard, that one. Then you're coming across your own body. So if you've got your left, you're coming across to the right. Drop the knee, Hold on to the knee if you can. Sometimes it just won't do it. And you could do it last week and it might just not happen this week. Look away from your knees, looking towards your hand. That's it. Head back to center. Assist your leg all the way back up. Wonderful. Good. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. It's just a little bit more gentle. Feet and knees together, hands out to the side again, and just flop to one side. It's a little bit easier. Now we're going to do this a tiny bit more dynamically. So up and over, and then up and over. So you're just swinging one side then the other, one side then the other. So up and over. And one more. Oh. Should feel really nice. Back should be kicking out. Okay, up to center. Lovely. Right, so let's think. We've gone right from the bottom all the way up to the middle. Click the middle out and relaxed out your abs. Let's have a think about the top. So part of that is going to be when we're upright, but I just want to do this exercise I've done with Tracy a number of times before. So bring your hands behind your head and just relax out your elbows. And that in itself is quite nice anyway. But I want you to, if you can think about when your hands are latticed behind you, just bring your thumbs down. So your thumbs are actually facing down. And when you're clasped behind, they're actually on your neck, if that makes sense. So your thumbs are on the base of your neck or base of your head. Hands behind, thumbs down, and just clasp your head really gently. Now we're going to feel that weight of the head. So again, just tilt your pelvis under, just making sure that your back doesn't take this. And you're going to lift. And if you lift your head, your shoulders should feel this. So where they're actually resting, the weight should be on your shoulders. Your head should be really heavy. So if you sort of just give it a little tiny movement around, it should feel super heavy. And then just engage those thumbs and just put them at the base of your skull. And just feel that weight. And you're going to just pull your head very, very gently up. So your chin is coming to your chest, in effect. Gently, though. And what you should feel is that your spine, so right at the top, your vertebrae right at the top, are getting a bit of a stretch out. Nice and gently bring it back down and relax your elbows back down again. And now we're going to do that again. Hopefully that made sense. We're going to do that again, but I want your thumbs to come in. So if you do it before you lift your head, your skull comes up and there's a little point in the middle, a divot, a little hole. I wouldn't say it's a hole, not quite, it's a divot. And if you can push your thumb into there, and actually that shouldn't be horrible, that should feel really, really nice. And a lot of the time masseuses do this, so I want you to push your thumb and lift your head and just feel a little bit of pressure from your thumbs right in that space. Relax your neck. Neck is not doing the work here. Your shoulders are actually taking the pressure here. And just really elongate that neck at the back. Hold it there and bring it down nice and slowly. Wonderful. Just release your hands from behind your head and just give your wrists a little stretch out and the other way. Good. Right. With your hands, just because it's just easy in this position, just scrunch make fists and then release. So stars, ball, star, ball. That's it. Really sort of stretch them out. If you have been doing a lot of typing today, this is really, really nice because they've been all scrunched up into a ball, and this gets the blood flowing around your fingertips as well. That's it. Scrunch and stars. Lovely. Right. Okay. So top of your neck should be feeling nice now. So what I'm going to do is ask you to come. We'll probably come back down again, but I'll ask you to come up. So just use a leg and just slowly and gently roll your way up. I would, if you have got a hair bubble, I would probably keep it out because we're going to be rolling back and forth. So not the easiest for everyone, I know. Just make sure that you've got something nice and comfortable behind you, because I don't want you to do this on a very hard surface. So I can see you've got your mats there. So we're going to roll, and it should crack, 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 crack all the way up your back. So bringing your feet off, and then we're going to curl right under, roll, and back up. So backwards, roll, and curve. So it should feel curved all the way down your back. That should be really nice. Curve and back up. Now, if you want to let go and just hang up there for a bit, be my guest. Oh, all your vertebrae going click, 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 click. Oh, I've got my sofa behind me. And roll up. Let's go one more. Backwards and roll up. Lovely. Okay. Right. If you want to just cross your legs or whatever's more comfortable, however's comfortable for you. That's it. Right. Okay, let's having a think about sort of towards the top of our shoulders now. So we've basically cracked and stretched and creased all the way up. So here, just by sort of top of your shoulder blades, traps area, is where it takes absolutely loads of stress. So we're going to try and stress that out. So first things first, let's do a big roll and sit your shoulders down. That's it. Now we're going to drop your head down. And with your hands, currently just keep them in your lap, but we will move them in a second. So just think, right, Rebecca's behind me. She's putting a tiny bit of pressure onto the shoulders, and your head is nice and low. Right, now with your hands now, I want you to place them behind you and link on. So try and keep where you are, just link your hands behind you. And all that does is just very mildly exaggerate what we've just done. Keep it there. If you can, whilst holding this position, squeeze your shoulder blades and just lift very slightly. I'll just turn to the side. So very, very, very slightly lift. Your hands away. Keep your arms relatively straight, but try and keep that head down and your shoulders pushed down and back. Hold it here. That's, if there's some real tenderness there, this should be quite strong. I don't want to say sore, but strong. Bring your hands back down. Lift your head, release your shoulders. That's it. Good. Right, so let's do that again. So roll, plaster your shoulders back and down, drop your head. Hands, just put them behind your back. And now what we're going to do is turn. So turn your head. I'm going to turn very slightly so you can see what I'm doing. Turn your head to the side. So you're looking just on the floor past your leg. Now you should feel a tendon right there. This whole thing. Bring it back to center. And then the other side. That's it. So remember, shoulders back and down, chin to your chest, and look just past your leg. Bring yourself back to center and lift your head and relax. Oh my God, that is quite strong. Just be careful. Right, our fave. So bring your shoulders shrug. 2, 3. Oh, there we go. And up, 2, 3. That is lovely. I can physically see that. That's lovely. Everyone going, whoa. Okay, and one more up. And breathe out. Absolutely excellent. Lovely. Right, bringing your hands in front. I'm going to turn to the side again so you can see. Hands in front and really create some space here. Drop your head and really round that back, right at the back. Deep breath. And release. And again, deep breath. Release. One more deep breath. And release. Good. Right. One more for that area. Hands behind you. I'm just going to do that actually. Hands behind you. And just relax. Squeeze your shoulder blades. That's the first thing. So don't worry about lifting your chest yet. Just squeeze your shoulder blades. You should create a little arch in your back. And your knees, try and keep your knees really soft. And even if they're up here, that's absolutely fine. Just try and relax them instead of them taking some stress. Just squeeze those shoulder blades. Right now, don't flop your head back, just lift your chest up. So your head should still be looking forwards. Deep breath and relax. Feel your chest expand and relax. That's it. Nice and gently get yourself out of that one. That's it. Right, the opposite way. So we're folding forwards. Now I know this isn't easy for everyone. Do your best. So even if you're up here, you're just putting your hands in front and head down. If you are much lower, we're just folding forwards. Drop your head. Try and relax. Relax your back. Very, very, very slowly. You're not drowning in your hair. Roll yourself back up. That's it. Lovely. Right, now whilst we're here, we're just going to do a similar turn to what we did on the floor. So bring yourself across, turn around, look over your shoulder, get a click if you're able to. And bring yourself back. And then with the other side, that's it. Turn around. Oh. Ah, excellent. Right, okay, so back. Should be feeling a lot better now. Let's have a little look. We're going to come back down again. Let's have a little look at the hip flexors because they're all obviously nasty and tight as well most of the time. So just roll yourself backwards, come back onto your back, and then take hold of one leg. And first of all, I want to keep that really, really nice and tight and just point your toe to the floor. So it's still bent, your leg's still bent, point your toe to the floor. Get a really, really good grip of that knee and bring it nice and close. Try to relax your shoulders. They should be a tad more relaxed now. Now, we're just going to pick your toe up, and as if you've got a tiny little ball, you're going to slide that along and keep it off the floor. Just straighten your leg, just keep it off the floor, just. Hold it there. Hold nice and tight onto that leg. Now, if you can, you're going to lift this leg slightly and then bring it down again. That's it. Sink it down. Lift it slightly and then sink it down, keeping hold of that knee. Lift and sink. Now, each time you do that, your legs should feel quite heavy. Hopefully you can feel that. It's like, oh, it's really heavy. It'll sink to the floor. Lift it up. Sink to the floor. Good. Right, hold it there. Okay, now you're just going to lift it very slightly off the floor again, and then you're going to come from one side to the other, so left to right. When you're coming across your body, so for me at this moment it's the right, it's very small. It's quite small, it's only a few inches across and across. So you should be feeling this in your hip. And let's go one more. Across, across. Okay, bring it down and just release the knee that you've got. You're going to bring the other leg in, nice and gently, and swap. So keep a good old grasp of that knee. Just be aware if your knee starts to get aggravated because it's very bent. So if it's starting to feel a bit, just release it very slightly. Just still keep it in. So if it's your knee up here that's aggravating, very much not the point. So keep that nice and close, and then you're just going to slowly point that toe and bring it down to the floor. Set. Hold on to your knee nice and strong. And you can hold here underneath as well. That takes a little bit of pressure off your knee if you need it. Okay, picking that toe up, and then you're going to slide, keep the leg off the floor just a bit, a few inches, nice and straight. Hold on to that knee, relax. Good, okay, a few inches up, and when you're coming down, feel the weight of that leg. Oh, heavy. Bring it up and down. It may be a little bit more difficult on one side than the other. This isn't actually that easy because your hip flexors are having to do some work. Lift it up and down. Sink, 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 sink. One more. Bring it up and sink down to the floor if you're able to. Keep hold of that knee. Good. Lift it up slightly, and then we're coming across from one side to the other. That's it. Little movements, not actually that much. Can't do that much. If it can, you're twisting your hips, so you need to keep them straight upwards. If you're able to move that right around there, it's because your hips are twisting. Across and across. Let's go one more. Across and across. Good. Come back to center, nice and gently bring that in. Your legs should feel quite heavy now. Oh, no, that's just my legs. Right, just little tiny, tiny, tiny rocks. Okay, just bring your feet down for a second whilst I just explain the second one. So what I want you to do is butterfly. So you bring your legs up, you're going to butterfly your feet together. And what we're using is gravity to just open your hips out a bit. Now, I've said this a number of times before, but if you are holding a lot of stress, this might be relatively uncomfortable. But what we need to try and do is really rest those hips out to try and relax them, therefore relax you. So again, just engage your core very slightly, and we're going to bring our feet together. And then you're going to try and prise, you know, your knees are going to come out a little bit. So if you want to put your hands just above your head, and you're just going to bring them in front. Can you see that? I'm just going to turn the angle very slightly. It's not actually that easy from the side. So we're here. Just bring those knees in. Take your hands out of the way, basically, and then keep your toes together. Then what this does is gravity is obviously sinking you down, but I need you to try and open up your hips slightly. So if you need to use your hands and just ease them open. Just try and relax. And not for everyone, as though if you're watching this, I know this is much easier for you, but this is actually quite stiff for most people because we're used to this plane, not this plane. And you need to try and use gravity and just a little bit of assistance just to sink that whole lot down. So eventually you'll find if you're up here, you can just sink it down. Really try and sink. That's it. Deep breath and relax. Okay. If you have got hold of your knees, just release them and bring yourself back. They should just spring back. Now, something called a baby from a yoga perspective. This is if you can, okay? Because it's not the easiest. We're going to hold on to our toes. So you bend your knees, hold on to your toes. Now, it may be that something doesn't allow that, either hip flexibility or your tummy. But if you think, oh, my tummy's in the way, just split your legs slightly, and then your tummy will come in between. And then we're doing little tiny rocks from side to side. If you can't take hold of your toes, if that is not an option and your hips will not allow it, then you're here, okay? You should be able to bring your legs up enough. But if not, we're holding on. You do need to get a bit of a grasp of your toes, or otherwise you'll fall. My recommendation is very, very small movement. If you do this too much, you will just collapse to one side. And it'll be very funny, but not quite the point. So it should be really, really nice on your back as well, mid-back. And your hips should be getting a really good stretch out, and your inner thighs. Now, if you want to exaggerate that, just stop the rock is straightening your legs. So that is properly strong on the back of your legs. Okay, so just be aware, once you straighten your legs, your hamstrings, I've got to do absolute load of work there. So just give them a second and they will relax. If there's absolutely no chance that's happening, just stay where you are and then just continue with your little rock. That's it. Good. Okay, bring yourself back to center. If you are straightened, just bend, release your toes, and then bring yourself back. Oh, lovely. Right. Bring yourself to the side. Just come across to the side. And then we're going to rock over onto all fours. Give me a second. I'm just going to get my locks out of the way because I'm drowning them. Right. Lovely. Okay, onto all fours. Are you seeing me okay? We're going to bring ourselves up. Really, really nice big cat stretch. Really tilt that pelvis. And then bring yourself back to center. Lift and sink. That's it. All the way up. Through to center and relax. And again, all the way up. Through to center and release. Should be really nice at the front there. Relax your back and come back to neutral. Wonderful. Right, let's go into a downward dog position, but what I want you to do is do it from a cat stretch. So I'm just going to do that because I'm losing off camera otherwise. So come into your cat stretch and then tuck your toes under. So from that position, so you should be really curled, just engage your core and lift. Then you're flattening your back and just really try and stretch everything nice and straight. Push your head back. Come up onto your toes and we're going to come back down onto all fours. And then you're going to sink into your cow. That's it. Come back up all the way up into your cat. We're going to do that again. So cat to dog and lift. Push back. Good. Right, we're going to bring our hands and our feet together. So walking our hands and our feet together and just hang nice and heavy. Here's a really good back of leg stretch. After a few seconds, everything just goes. Okay, super slowly. Now we haven't been up for a while, so just be aware, just very slightly bend your knees, very slightly. I'm going to coil, 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 coil. All the way up, head last. I know I've lost you on the camera. Give me 1 second. There we go. Hello. Bring that back down a little bit, actually. And then arms all the way up. Deep breath in. And relax it down. Right. Okay, very nice. So we're up. I want to finish with a few things up here. But hopefully your back should be feeling a damn sight better than it was. And sort of your shoulders should be much more relaxed. Everything should feel much more relaxed, particularly in the back area, because we have spent 3/4 of an hour actually doing stuff on backs pretty much. So hips should be feeling good, nice and stretched out and sort of less stressful. That's where we should be feeling. Now, a little bit of balance. Let's just see how we're going to go to this evening, ladies. It may go wrong, you never know, but at least your back will be able to cope with it. So we'll start simple. So what I'd like you to do is just put one foot in front of the other. I'm very slightly going to bring that down so you can see what I'm doing and come back further. So one foot in front of the other, hands onto your hips. Now, for goodness sake, listen rather than watch, because I want you to look at a point not on the screen, because the screen's moving. So we're going to lift our leg up and down. So just really concentrate. You're not going to bring it too far. I'll do this to the side as well. So just a little way off the ground and back. Now, whilst you're doing this, your leg knows what it's doing and your quad's having to do a bit of work. Just think about your posture. Are you upright or are you slumped slightly? We're doing this. Make sure you're right upright. So your back should be able to cope with this now. We've straightened you out. Shoulders nice and low away from your ears. And lift and tap. Lift and tap. Let's go one more. Lift and tap. Lovely. Just give your legs a little shake out. And let's go the other side. So point your foot. Make sure that you've got a point that's not moving. And we'll lift and tap down. Up. Now again, legs happy. What's everything else doing? Is your core just mildly engaged? It has to be to keep you upright. Shoulders down. Relax your shoulders. And 2 and 1. Wonderful. Okay, again, shake your legs out. All right. Now, I'm going to slightly come to the side, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. We're going to do some pointing all the way round. Now, we'll start with one leg. So just again, make sure that leg's nice and plastered onto the floor. Then we're going to go upright, point, 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 and back again. Okay, so you've got to balance, but also your hip has got to stretch round. So it should be relaxed, but it's got to stretch around and around. So hopefully you feel your hip stretching out there, right there. Back, back, forwards. Whoa, see? Oh my God. I'm trying to look at the screen. Not good. Let's do that one more time. So there and back, there and forward. Good. Oh, lose concentration for 1 minute. Okay, so other side. Point and to the side, back to the side and point. That's it. Feel that hip going, oh yeah, going all the way around. Might be a bit clicky, might be a bit cracky as long as it's not painful. And back. And one more. Out. Oh dear. Oh, and forward, not so much today. Oh my God. Oh, right. Give yourself a little shake out. Right, now this one, balance is required, but it's also a really lovely back stretch, okay? So it's a windmill, and I will often do this to a dynamic stretch. So we're gonna slow it down a bit, but it is a really, really good stretch, this one. So slightly wider, and then you're gonna come opposite. So your opposite hand is touching your opposite toe. So hinge forwards, and then you're going to drop that down. You're going to drop your head. So you should feel a really good stretch around the back of your legs, but also your back. And what I'd like you to do with your balance, and this is the balance bit, is look up. Look up to your hand. Now slowly, you're going to twist your back and bring yourself to the opposite. And then look at your hand if you can, and you're not going to drown in your own hair. That's it. And again, opposite, hold it, look up. Oh my God. Feel that down the back of your legs. Twist, shoulders, back. Lovely. And back again. Hold it there. It may be easier on one side than the other. Okay, drop that hand down, come back to the center so both hands are down, and then you're going to roll it up. Very nice. I like that one. That's interesting, that one. Okay, just bring your feet together. Lovely. Right, so let's exaggerate the balance side of things a little bit more. I don't entirely know if this is a good idea from my perspective. Obviously not feeling very balanced today. Hands together, so put one weight on one foot, hands together in your chest, center of your chest, and then you're going to place your foot on a knee. So just slightly bend that knee, just slightly there. So you're resting it on. Try really hard to still your mind. Once you're feeling comfortable there and you're like, yeah, I think I've got that, then you're going to bring your hands out to the side. Remember, just keep that little bend, something for your foot to rest on. Then if you're feeling comfortable there, bring your arms up. Now think about your posture. Your shoulders are down. Your back is up nice and straight. You're staring at something that's not moving. Try to relax. Okay, arms down and relax. Lovely. If you manage that, excellent. Okay, let's try the other side. So plaster your foot, hands together at your chest. Bend your knee very slightly and your foot is going on that knee. Hold it there. Just gather your thoughts for a second, okay, before we start moving arms around. Try and relax your shoulders. Get rid of any little tiny wobbles. If you're really struggling, don't move. Try this bit first. And if you're okay, then we're coming out. Hold it here. And if you're okay, we're coming up. Really think about your shoulders down, your back straight. Oh, it's definitely worse on this side. My goodness. Oh, you see, I'm terrible today, ladies. My God. Okay, arms down. And relax your leg. Excellent. I'm done. Oh my God, I've had this after. Right, so let's try a last one, tiny bit more of a strength one. So really nice and wide. We're not doing windmills. We're going to do sumos. So hands together. And then we're going to sink down. Now, when I say sink down, it's backwards and down. So we're here. backwards, 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 as if you're going to sit onto a stool. Okay, so when we're in this position, what we're not doing is arching our back, so you need to keep it nice and straight. There should be no pressure on your back, your lower back at all. Legs, yep, thighs have got to take a little bit of this. Tracy, after what we did, that's not going to be ideal. Right, the balance part, we're going to lift onto our toes. If this cramps, for goodness sake, don't do it. We're lifting. There's the balance. Calves need to take some of this. Inner thigh needs to take some of this, but mainly you've got a balance. Excellent. If you're managing that, very, very good. Try and sink it as much as you can. 5, 4, 3, wobble, 2, 1. Heels down and bring yourself back up. Lovely. Just jump or walk that together and then give your legs a shake out. Absolutely excellent, ladies. Very, very good work. Right, let's finish as usual with our nice little scoops. If you want to come up onto your toes, amazingness, give it a go. Off we go, and up, deep breath in, and lift. I shouldn't really do this today, should I? And up, lift, and one more. Close your eyes if you want to. I'm definitely not doing that today. And lift. Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you very, very much, ladies. That was incredibly good. Just give me 1 second.